Okay, welcome everybody. Reagan Archibald here, and I got a very special announcement about Einstein's medicine. It is, in fact, here. A dream of mine that I had 15 years ago was to have a line of herbs and supplements that had the highest quality, very easy to take, but they could be used by anybody, no matter how severe the disease is, no matter how sick they were, or what condition they had going on. They could use these five core supplements to enhance their health and change their life. And so we finally pulled it off. It's been 15 years, but we have the right collaborative agreement with Designs for Health, and they've helped us and curated this process so that we can actually move through it and get better supplements to you and your family and your loved ones. So this is based on five core supplements that are designed around the five core pillars of health that will activate your abundance of health. And so remember these, these supplements, use them with testing. There is a strategy that we want to get built around your health when we get the right tests ran. But even if you hadn't had tests ran, these will still be safe, very effective to help you on your healing process and get you rejuvenated and stay away from the drugs and medication and surgery that can lead us down the scarcity of health. So what are these five formulas, Reagan? Well, hold your horses, here they come. So let's jump into the first one, which is a formula that is my favorite called Optimal Movement. And the beautiful thing about Optimal Movement is it's got the New Zealand green lip mussel. Now, many of you have heard mussels talked about ad nauseum in the media. You've heard the biohackers talk about mussels. You've seen it in Men's Health, eat more mussels for greater testosterone and growth hormone. Well, this is also used as an anti-inflammatory. And there's been some studies that have shown that it can reduce edema, and it also protects the stomach from the ibuprofen or naproxen or some of those anti-inflammatory medications that many of us have been taking. And so this comes from New Zealand. So these green lip mussels are very powerful for clearing out inflammation and help correct your movement in your body so you can get back on the road. The other products that are in the Optimal Movement formula is glucosamine sulfate. Now, many of you have heard of the glucosamine chondroitin. Well, glucosamine sulfate is the precursor for the joint and spine cartilage, for your ligaments, for your tendons, and it stimulates the formation of these joint-building proteoglycans. Now, you can't look at glucosamine alone. You've got to look at the other factors that come along with it because that activates the glucose. One of those is called CMO, or acetylmistryl lactate. And these, I don't know if I pronounced that properly, I apologize, but these acetylated fatty acids, what they do is they help get all the nutrients absorbed in the gastrointestinal tract. So what you'll find is in osteoarthritis, the CMO helped markedly improve the knee function. And then what's also in Optimal Movement is hyaluronic acid. And hyaluronic acid is a viscous mucopolysaccharide, and it's present in the connective tissue space and the synovial fluid of moving joints. And this hyaluronic acid formula has a very high absorption rate, and it can be used in a variety of applications, but one of those is to help. Basically, it's like, when you put WD-40 in a bearing or in your door hinge, well, that's what the hyaluronic acid can do for your knees, for your hips, all the joints in your body, your spine. And then what else is in the Optimal Movement is type 2 collagen. Now, the type 2 collagen is made of glycine and proline. And one of the most interesting areas of this type 2 collagen is that it's extracted from the chicken sternum. So you can get collagen from almost any source, but it doesn't have the proper polypeptide chains that you'll find when you're getting collagen from the chicken sternum. This is where you'll get the highest concentration of these proteoglycans and the mucopolysaccharides. It's no wonder that chicken soup is a panacea. And one of the things is because it's got this type 2 collagen, research shows that it can help people who have progressively lost the collagen structures and cartilage in rheumatoid and both osteoarthritis patients. So that's optimal movement, a phenomenal formula. And then finally, the minerals zinc, copper, and manganese are all there to really create this, the raw material for you to regrow the tendons, the ligaments, the cartilage. And then selenium's in there because selenium is a powerful antioxidant that can help arthritis by fighting the free radicals that can damage the tissue and lead to further inflammation. And then finally, to kind of round out the optimal formula, optimal movement formula, is boswellian turmeric. And these are some of my favorites because boswellian and turmeric, they've, first of all, they've been able to outperform ibuprofen in different clinical studies. They have been proven to be a very effective alternative that do not have the adverse side effects like ibuprofen does. And they are also free of toxic contaminants. So we use only the finest organic ingredients in our formulas. So, okay, so that's optimal movement. Get yourself some today and get exercising. And remember, get to one of our classes. Our main class, We Can Exercise For You, will give you some really cool goals to set for yourself. Okay, now let's talk about our stem boost formula, because I want you to be like the stem cell and differentiate yourself from others. So the stem boost is useful for the immune system. It helps stem cell release rates in your body. It improves the gut microbiome. It helps with an inflammatory response in your body, so you have a healthy, healing mechanism. It also supports detoxification, and then it improves athletic performance. So what's in it? Well, the primary ingredients is a shiitake fermented protein. So for those of you who are, maybe you're vegetarian or vegan and you want a high quality protein that doesn't cause a lot of inflammation, but also helps stimulate the regrowth in your body. If you're trying to get your stem cells built up, maybe you've had a treatment, you've had a stem vitality treatment. Well, this is something you want to take on a day-by-day basis. Because some of the things that shiitake has done is this is a full spectrum micronized medical mushroom complex. There's over 500 milligrams of a therapeutic mushroom blend. It activates all of the 260 different classes of immune cells. It's 100% organic mushrooms, 100% bioavailable, non-GMO, and it's made right here in the US. And the beautiful thing about this is what's going to influence the stem cell release rates in your entire body. And so the Stem Boost is a formula that will help make you young again. Because many of you have had these, either we've used the perinatal tissue and we've used stem cells in your knees or your hips or your shoulders or any place in your body. And so these stem cells found in the cord tissue, primarily in the Wharton's jelly or the perivascular region, well, the Stem Boost formula will be one of the ways you can activate those so that you get that nice signaling property, and where your body can actually start releasing these growth factors. They can release these anti-scarring. They can break down the scar tissue, help create new vascularity in your body, and new blood supply, and new muscles, new ligaments, so you get this tissue repair and regeneration. So that is the goal of the Stem Boost formula. Let's talk about your brain. So this is a formula called Inner Genius. And I believe we all have this inner genius, and it just needs to be accessed. And one of the things that I've been really passionate about for at least 5 years is these natural supplements called nootropics. Some of them are natural, some are more on the synthetic side. But using nootropics has allowed my brain to really get productive when I have times where I need to be productive. And it also allows me to turn off my brain. But a nootropic is simply a natural supplement or a substance that allows your brain to work more efficiently. One of the rules of the nootropics, it's a Russian doctor who invented the term in the late 1970s. And he said a nootropic cannot take away from other parts of the brain. So like Adderall, Ritalin, these things can really amp up your brain, but they're going to take other chemicals and other nutrients from your brain in order to activate that. So you're going to end up really tired. Your brain's going to burn out. But using InnerGenius, it's a formula that's actually meant to optimize your brain performance and keep you performing at your best, keep your brain creative, keeping you more in your right brain instead of just stuck on that linear pathway. And it helps to reduce stress. And let's just kind of talk about these, because InnerGenius, one of the main ingredients is an ingredient called acetylcholine. And one of the things that's necessary is if you have the CDP, choline, the GPC, PS, and ginkgo biloba, that helps open up the blood-brain barrier, and it helps get better circulation inside of the brain. Helps with, the formulation has been shown to help improve brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It helps with mitochondrial function. It helps with oxidative stress. It helps with neurotransmitter storage. So this is really important because neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, GABA, anandamide, all these neurotransmitters are necessary for your overall well-being, for the way you feel, the way you think. And this InnerGenius formula will help you store and release those at the appropriate times. And then it also helps intracellular signaling from various neurotransmitters. And so let's dive in a little bit to the ingredients. So acetylcholine, or CDP choline, this is a substance that's found in every cell of your body. And you can get a lot of the choline from like your seafood sources. But what they found is that choline, it can cross the blood-brain barrier, and then it's used for ACH production or formation of phosphatidylcholine. And this is part of your brain phospholipid. So what that means is it creates, more of a flexibility in your brain when you take acetylcholine. And it helps open it up because it actually can travel through your blood-brain barrier. The other thing that it can do is it can help you create better neural connection and neural communication. So you're going to have much better ability to lay down new memories and pathways. Second thing in InnerGenius is coffee fruit concentrate. And this is also known as neurofactor TM, and it's an extract from the whole coffee cherry, including the flesh of the berry that surrounds the coffee bean. And so it's been shown to substantially stimulate the production of brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Now, this raises plasma levels 37 to 54%. One study actually showed a 206% increase in brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and contained in the structures called exosomes, which cross the blood-brain barrier. This increase was not observed in subjects taking brewed coffee, coffee green bean extract, natural coffee, caffeine, grape seed extract, or cholerogenic acid, which attests to the unique ingredients found in the coffee berry. So coffee berry contains very little caffeine, and this translates to like 0.7% caffeine, which translates to 7 milligrams per 100 milligram dose. So not going to get the caffeine buzz, but you're going to get all the brain-derived neurotrophic factor qualities from this coffee fruit concentrate. The other thing it contains is the glycerophosphocholines, and this is the GPC. GPC has been studied extensively, and what you'll find is that after you ingest this GPC, your choline plasma goes up, and it can be elevated for up to 10 hours. And when that's up, that stimulates the transport through the blood-brain barrier with greater efficiency. So really important if you've had your brain treated, maybe you've come to see us for our brain rejuvenation therapy for a traumatic brain injury or stroke or neurodegenerative disease. Well, having GPC as part of your daily regimen is definitely recommended. Okay, let's talk about acetyl L-carnitine, one of the most popular nootropics right now. And where this comes from is L-carnitine. It's an amino acid, and it comes from lysine and methionine. And it comes from foods. It's found especially in meat and dairy products. But one of the things that this can do is it supports your cellular energy production by facilitating fatty acid transport into the mitochondria. So it stabilizes the cell membrane fluidity and reverses age-related decline in mitochondrial function. So acetyl L-carnitine is basically, it's like keeping the engine alive and keeping it healthy in your brain, because you want your brain to be utilizing fatty acids as its energy source, as its primary energy source. And acetyl L-carnitine is one of the best ways of doing that, of keeping those mitochondria full of energy. Okay, next thing in Intergenius is phosphatidylserine. And this is crucial, once again, for the mitochondrial membranes. And it has a role in supporting neurotransmitter release and receptor function. So, you know, when your cell phone is not connected to Wi-Fi and it's really kind of tricky to get a signal all the time, well, that's what happens in our brains when we're not getting the proper communication signals firing. Then you're going to have some static there, and there's going to be some glitches in your memory. But what phosphatidylserine does is it helps with that signaling so that your brain can actually get clarity on the receptor sites and with the neurotransmitters being released. What phosphatidylserine also does is it modulates elevated cortisol. So if you have elevated cortisol, aka you have too high of stress levels, what the phosphatidylserine can do is help downregulate that stress and balance out your cortisol, because long-term elevated cortisol can have really negative impacts on your memory. Think about how poor your memory is when you're stressed, right? So this can help combat that. The other things that we found with Intergenius is and those are the main ingredients, but now, you know, it's just some of the studies that have been done. If you look at these substances, all of the amazing products in it, you know, either the ginkgo, the phosphatidylserine, the coffee fruit extract, the GPC, the acetylcholine, the acetyl L-carnitine, all these improve memory and general mental function. They've been studied extensively, especially in the elderly or those with cognitive impairment associated with excessive alcohol intake. They improve social behavior in patients with Alzheimer's or dementia or Parkinson's. They help increase brain energy consumption by supporting the mitochondria. And they also work at helping reduce the symptoms of Alzheimer's and dementia, and including those symptoms of brain volume shrinkage. They improve muscle function, growth hormone, and testosterone production, and modulate cortisol. So they do this in both young and elder. They increase fat oxidation. So if you're looking for a way to just improve your body's ability to use fat as an energy source, the Intergenius is a great way of doing that. And specifically, the acetyl L-carnitine helps you do that. Helps normalize elevated cortisol by exercise or mental stress. So once again, the phosphatidylserine can be one of the best things for that. It optimizes testosterone levels. And that's, once again, the phosphatidylserine is that the chief ingredient behind that. And then it supports the immune function by reducing the influence of cortisol on depressing the immune response. Okay, so phenomenal formula. Intergenius is a formula that I wish I had 20 years ago when I started school and was studying all the time. I mean, because when I use Intergenius, you know, in our trial run, when we're getting these formulas, I said, man, it's crazy. Just like putting your car into the next gear. And so I think your brain is going to love this, but more important, your body's going to love this. And this is going to help with long-term brain health. So, okay, Thyroid Connect. Now, this is one of the most important glands for your whole hormonal system. So if you're looking to activate hormonal health, this formula is for you. So what it's got in it is American ginseng root. And this American ginseng root, in Chinese medicine, we use American ginseng more for women, but it can also be used for men. So don't let this make you nervous, men. But it helps maintain healthy cortisol, blood glucose, and insulin levels, along with a balanced conversion of thyroid hormone. So if you're taking Synthroid, then American ginseng has got to be in your grocery cart. It needs to be in your body all the time, so you can actually get that T4, which is what Synthroid is, or levothyroxine, and get it converted to T3. So Coleus for Scoli. And this is, once again, it's another Chinese herb, very commonly used, but it promotes the proper function of your thyroid stimulating hormone, which stimulates the synthesis and secretion of T3 and T4 thyroid hormones from your thyroid. It also supports the normal breakdown of body fat to be used as energy. So if you want to get get that six-pack sticking out again, this is a great formula to do that. Selenium. Selenium is a key mineral in converting T4 to the more active T3. And it's kind of like crude oil to refined oil. If you take crude oil and you try and put it in your car, it's not going to do anything for you. And that's kind of like T4. So you have to refine the oil and then turn it into gasoline and high octane gasoline. And that's what selenium does. Selenium also is a very powerful antioxidant. So if you've got like maybe methylation issues from MTHFR or other issues in your methylation cycle, well, selenium is something that you can use as an antioxidant. Use it alongside with glutathione to reduce the effects of free radicals and mercury to the thyroid gland. Okay, potassium iodine. Now, if you think about T4 and T3, T4 means there's 4 iodine molecules in this hormone. T3 is there's just 3 iodine molecules. So iodine is essential for making the thyroid hormones. It's also essential for that blood purification process that happens in your thyroid, which circulates 13.2 gallons of blood every single hour through it. So iodine's necessary for making the hormones, and potassium is necessary for getting the thyroid hormone into the cells. Potassium is the carrier, just like potassium is what carries the glucose and the insulin, and which carries the glucose into the cells. That's the transportation molecule. It's the same thing with thyroid. Okay, tyrosine and copper. These support the production of the feel-good compounds like dopamine and norepinephrine, which help stabilize your mood. And I know many of you need that, especially after listening to me for so long. So take some tyrosine and copper. It's going to really help the mood, and it's found in Thyroid Connect. And then finally, the chromium and the zinc and manganese. These minerals are all there to support the thyroid gland by maintaining healthy insulin, glucose, and cholesterol levels. So it's a full, broad spectrum of herbs and minerals that you need to get your thyroid just dialed in so you start metabolizing better and feeling like yourself. And so finally, the fifth and most exciting, one of the most exciting, is the energy multiplier. And so energy multiplier is for those of you who have blood sugar issues. It's for those of you who feel like you're putting on some extra belly fat. It's if you have if you don't want to eat just a perfect diet, well, energy multiplier is for you, where we want you to be able to eat and your energy needs to be stable. If you notice that you get really tired before you eat, you've got blood sugar issues. Or if you notice you get hangry or headaches, you got blood sugar issues. So what we want to do is, we don't want your energy to be, obviously we all need to eat, but we want your energy to be stable throughout the day, where you don't have the 3 o'clock dip where you're looking for like something sugary to keep you awake, or you're craving sugar all the time. This formula helps with the sugar cravings, with the weight gain. It helps with blood sugar regulation. And if you are diabetic and you use diabetic medication, make sure that you are checking your blood sugar frequently, because this will stabilize any glucose intolerance or dysregulation in your body. So, okay, let's talk about what's in this amazing formula. Well, berberine is one of the chief ingredients. Berberine is a fermented berberine, so that means you can actually digest it. A lot of berberine, most berberine on the market is not fermented, and it's very difficult to digest. It's also known as huangliang in Chinese medicine. It's one of the 3 bitters, one of the most bitter herbs in the entire thousands of years old Chinese pharmacopoeia. And it's really effective at supporting healthy glucose regulation, and it also improves insulin sensitivity. So it removes that barrier of inflammation and toxins that keep the insulin from communicating with the cell. Cinnamon extract. You've heard of cinnamon. You've all used it many a times, and I'm not talking cinnamon toast crunch. I'm talking about cinnamon extract, because cinnamon's a powerful antioxidant. In Chinese medicine, cinnamon is a carrier. So it's an herb that can carry the more powerful herbs exactly where they need to go, like your fenugreek or your gymnema or the berberine, which is also in this formula. But as part of the glucose tolerance factor, the cinnamon is one of the most interesting things that helps moderate the blood sugar level. And cinnamon is a potent antioxidant and also contains the mineral chromium. And chromium is required for proper functioning of insulin receptors. So once again, phenomenal. Banaba extract. This is the banaba is important for the insulin-like properties. It aids in managing blood glucose. It helps transport glucose out of the bloodstream and into the cells. So once again, for you type 2 diabetics, or if you've been told you got pre-diabetes, or even if you have any hypo or hyperglycemic issues, then this is a key component, key ingredient for you that is found in the energy multiplier. And then finally, you've got the American ginseng root. You've got fenugreek. Fenugreek helps break up any types of mucus in your body. So if you notice you get a lot of allergies, you don't digest food well, you get bloating, fenugreek is really important for that. It's also really good for type 2 diabetes or dysregulation in your blood sugar. Kudzu and gymnema. Kudzu and gymnema, these help detoxify your body. But they also help maintain healthy blood lipids. So if your triglycerides are too high or your LDL is too high, these 4 herbs are perfect for your condition. So this is the energy multiplier formula. What you'll notice on that is you'll notice that your energy just stays stable throughout the day. And the reason why we named it energy multiplier is because it can actually, if your energy is stable, you become more predictable throughout the day. You can get your work done quicker. You can be more alert. You can be much better suited to tackle all those amazing things you're doing in your life. So those are our 5 core formulas here at East West. And I think you guys will really enjoy being on these. Give it a try. Once again, they are therapeutic on many levels. If you have any questions, you can find us at acueastwest.com, or go to einsteinsmedicine.com and send us an email at orders@einsteinsmedicine.com, and we will get these right out to you as soon as possible. So hope you enjoyed this. Once again, Reagan Archibald signing out. Have an amazing rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are in life. We want you to feel your best, look your best, and just love the way you feel about your health. So thank you so much.